what's going on, everybody? Steve Didier here, coming to you with another edition of the Mexico Minute. And today we get to cover one of the most popular topics, and that's buying real estate in Mexico. So we're going to go over the top 5 things that you need to know before you consider purchasing real estate here in Mexico. So, without further ado, let's get at it. All right, number 5. Not so much a tip as it is clearing up a general misconception about real estate here in Mexico. And that is, yes, as an American or Canadian or foreigner, yes, you can buy real estate here in Mexico, and no, the government cannot take it away from you. There's some technicalities to this, but understand that absolutely you can buy real estate here in Mexico. If you're within 100 kilometers of the border or 50 kilometers of the beach, you have to do it in the form of a bank trust or a Mexican corporation of which you own 100% of the shares. But that is it, and they work just like they do in the U.S. You do not have to have a Mexican partner. They cannot take it from you. There's a lot of misconceptions about this. All you need to know is that, yes, you can legally own property here. All right, number 4. This is important. Know what you want. I can't stress that enough. Do not come down here with a vague idea. You have to know, start with the end in mind, I guess is what I'm saying. Are you retiring right now and you want to live cheap? You're going to have to look to make sure the amenities that you want are around there. Are you going to retire in 5 to 10 years maybe? You know, in that case, you want to know what you're going to do with the property until then. Are you going to use it as a vacation home? Are you going to use it as a rental property for income? You know, or maybe you're just buying it as a way to get some of your money out of the U.S. and away from the impending crisis. And that's going to be something else entirely, because what brings the best income may not suit you if you decide to live there. So think these things through before you actually start looking. That way you can tell the real estate agent that you're working with exactly what you're looking for, and they can help you more specifically find what fits your needs. And that brings me to point number 3. And point number 3 is find a good real estate agent. Do not try and go cowboy down here in Mexico and think you're going to get a better deal if you negotiate on your own. You are just setting yourself up for problems, and it's be a very expensive lesson. So find a good real estate agent. I would also recommend, if you're an American or Canadian, finding a real estate agent that comes from your home country that has been doing real estate down here for a long time and knows the ins and outs of everything and has a track record. The reason for this is twofold. If they've been doing business down here a while, then they know the culture and they know the potential pitfalls of buying real estate down here. But also, if they come from your native home country, they're going to understand your concerns and the thoughts that you might be having, the fears that you might have, and they're going to be able to address those in a language that you can understand. Now, that's not saying you can't find a good Mexican real estate agent. When I came down here and got my first rental, I used a Mexican real estate agent, and she was phenomenal. But she had lived in the U.S., she had lived in England, she had lived all over. Her English was flawless, and she understood where I was coming from. Sure, her specialty was working with foreigners. But that's few and far between. Unfortunately, a lot of agents down here look at gringos as ATM machines, and you know, that's not everybody, but it can be a problem. So my advice, if you can, is to find an agent from your home country who has been doing business down here for a number of years, and that way it can save a lot of communication problems and get you going in the right direction. Number 2, this is also very, very important. Do your own research. Familiarize yourself with the property. And when I'm talking about doing your own research, not only on the procedure of buying property in Mexico, but also research your agent that you pick. Make sure that they have a good track record. A good agent down here is going to have a good social media presence. They're going to have, you're going to be able to check TripAdvisor or a number of other sources and find out what other people have thought of their services. It's very, very important. Do your research. CYA, as they say in the U.S., which is cover your ass. Do your own research. That way, if somebody is trying to pull something over on you, at least you have a working knowledge and you might be able to catch it. You are placing a lot of trust in this person, and you're placing a lot of trust in them knowing the system and taking care of you. So it's twofold. Research your agent, research the process so that you're not completely ignorant of what is going on. You owe it to yourself. It's a lot of money you could be potentially being investing hundreds of thousands of dollars down here. So it behooves you to spend some time on the internet and familiarize yourself with the process. All right, the number one thing that you need to know before buying real estate in Mexico is don't come down here and expect to find $20,000 beachfront lots. They don't exist anymore. Maybe in 1970 you could do that, now you can't. And when I was doing real estate down here, it was so many people were coming, hey, I heard you can get beachfront lots down here for like 10 or 20 grand. I'm like, no, if you get a beachfront lot in Playa del Carmen, you're looking at $1 million if you can find one. So understand, like for example, in Playa del Carmen, the average price for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo is just a little bit over $250,000 US dollars. So that kind of gives you an idea. Any place that you're going to look, if it's a popular expat destination or tourist area, you're going to spend some money. There is no other way around it. So adjust yourself to that fact, and also understand that you have to pay cash. There are no loans. No matter what some of these companies might say, there really are no loans for a foreigner coming to Mexico and buying real estate. So you're going to have to pay cash, and you're not going to get it as cheap as some of these people say. Those days have long gone. Not to be saying that you can't find a good deal, but understand that you are going to pay. And also, kind of a bonus tip, don't go to your real estate agent and say, hey, just find me a great deal. You know, if you come up with something super great, just call me. Don't do that. It annoys your agent really, really bad. And if a smoking deal comes up like that, believe me, they're not going to call you, they're going to buy it themselves. That's just the way it is. So understand that up front, guys. And understand that buying real estate in Mexico is a very safe proposition if it's done right. You can get an amazing house, condo, or piece of land, and build your retirement home, or have a vacation spot. And places like Playa del Carmen, Cabo, Puerto Vallarta, Tulum, Cancun. They're amazing, amazing places. I've lived in Playa del Carmen now for over 3 years. I absolutely love it. So there you go, guys, the top 5 things to keep an eye out for when you're buying real estate in Mexico. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. Comment below if you have any questions. And as always, if you're looking for a way to fund your own life abroad, or perhaps even buy a place in Mexico or elsewhere, click the link below and find out one of the things that I'm doing for money, and maybe it's a possibility for us to work together. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.